where officials gave a briefing about a situation that transpired in this airport this morning. Very wild story. Essentially, they say there was a man who live streamed himself coming down from Cartersville, Georgia, which is kind of a northern suburb of Atlanta, saying that he was planning to shoot up the airport. Because of, though, they say see something, say something going right, they were able to thwart that. Let's listen in.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Atlanta Mayor Andre Dickens, and I'm here along with my colleagues to talk about an incident that could have been tragic but was averted. So we're joined here by the COO of this city, our chief of police, as well as Captain Shapiro from Sparacchio from Cartersville Police, as well as our FBI lead, Mr. Brown, as well as our, who else we have back here? Oh, we have Ricky Smith from Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport. And we are here to talk about an incident that occurred at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport that was averted today, thankfully. And Chief Sherbon will give you a lot of details about that incident. But in particular, 27 or more lives could have been lost today because an individual came into Hartsfield-Jackson and after being reported coming out of Cartersville, Georgia, that had mental challenges. This individual, thankfully, his family went to the Cartersville Police and shared with them what was going on, and they alerted APD, and APD and the airport were aware, and this crisis was averted. But this individual did have a semi-automatic weapon, and this individual was mentally challenged. And when you have those combinations together, it can turn out to be deadly. People that are mentally challenged, and he happened to also have been a felon from a few years back. So he's a felon with a semi-automatic weapon, and he's got mental challenges, and he's approaching the world's busiest and most efficient airport. This crisis, we're thankful to God and to good information and good intel and good people for this crisis being averted. Just a few weeks ago, we dealt with the CDC shooting that occurred in this city, where another individual coming out of Kennesaw had a mental challenge and a high-powered weapon and ended up killing a DeKalb County police officer and striking the CDC, as well as striking fear into the communities around. We also had an individual just last year in Midtown that was also seeking mental help with his parents, but ended up causing loss of life in that regard as well. We also had a Four Seasons hotel and residence, an individual with high-powered weapons and a mental health diagnosis. So what you're seeing is we are experiencing across the nation and even in this great city where guns and mental health challenges going together can propose a deadly scenario. But we're thankful that in this situation today, this crisis was averted. And so now I would turn it over to our police chief, Darren Sherbon, to be able to give you more details about all of the aspects of this situation. Chief?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good afternoon, everyone. Appreciate you all being here. As the mayor stated, we are here today to announce an arrest of an individual that posed a threat to our airport, but also to note that because of the community, in the case of the family, as well as the joint collaboration of law enforcement, that a tragedy was indeed averted. The Atlanta airport, the busiest in the world, most efficient, remains safe. Each and every day we have a range of resources in place to keep the airport safe, including our special response team and the many officers that are assigned there. That team trains regularly for scenarios just like today. And I want to thank the men and women of the airport for their response. We have taken in custody and have under arrest a Billy Cagle, age 49, resident of Cartersville, Georgia. At approximately 9:40 this morning, the Atlanta Police Department was alerted by the Cartersville Police Department of a potential threat at the airport. Cartersville Police Department was alerted by the family of Mr. Cagle that he was streaming on social media, that he was headed to the airport, in their words, to shoot it up. And the family stated that he was in possession of an assault rifle. What we didn't know is that Mr. Cagle had already arrived at the airport. In fact, we know that he arrived at 9:29, going to the South Terminal, and that he entered the airport shortly thereafter at 9:31. That time, we do not believe he was armed. He entered the South Domestic Terminal, and from video we will show you he seemed to be very interested in the TSA check-in area, which you can see was heavily crowded with travelers. At approximately 9:54, officers of this department, armed with a photograph of Mr. Cagle and being provided up-to-date information from their sergeant as she spoke to the Cartersville Police Department and a family member, was able to locate Mr. Cagle and take him into custody. He had arrived at the airport in a Chevy flatbed pickup that was part of the lookout provided to us by Cartersville PD. That vehicle was parked immediately outside. When we went to that vehicle, we found inside a Springfield AR-15 assault rifle, a 5.56 St. Victor model with 27 rounds of ammunition. We did have a tragedy averted today. I, just a short while ago, spoke to 2 officers of this department and thanked them, because if it were not for Officer Gibson and Officer Banks, and if it were not for their Sergeant Jones that was providing them, I do believe that Mr. Cagle was headed back to his truck to retrieve it, and I do believe he was likely to use that weapon inside the crowded terminal that he had just seen. We are working closely with the District Attorney of Clayton County, District Attorney Mosley, and we have charged Mr. Cagle with a count of terroristic threats, criminal attempt to commit aggravated assaults, possession of a firearm in the commission of a felony, and possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. We're here today briefing you on a success and not a tragedy, because a family saw something and said something. A family knew they had a family member in crisis, they knew they had access to firearms, and they were on social media. This is something we've seen across the country time and time again. Social media postings, people with an awareness, individuals with access to a firearm. But today, the family said something. The local police in Cartersville quickly notified the Atlanta Police Department. And the Atlanta Police Department, using its resources at the airport, took the individual into custody. So today is how it should work. Community, law enforcement, dedicated men and women wearing the uniform and trained to respond when their community needs them. So thank you, Mr. Mayor, for making sure we have the resources to keep our airport safe and keep our city safe. And thank you to the men and women of the Atlanta Police Department, particularly our airport section, for what you did today. And now I'm going to turn the podium over to our representative from Cartersville, Captain Sparacio, for comments from him. Thank you.
Good morning. So this morning, just after 9:30, we were alerted by family members that Mr. Cagle was en route to somewhere in the Atlanta area. They weren't sure. Ultimately, we found out it was the Atlanta airport, and that he had the intention to inflict harm to as many people as he could. We were able to get in touch with the Atlanta Police Department. Our investigators were able to quickly determine what kind of vehicle he was in, get very recent pictures of that vehicle, and get all those over to the Atlanta Police Department in a timely manner, and ultimately get this, what could have been a crisis, averted. And it's because of the hard work, dedication of the excellent investigators we have, the patrol officers that initially took the report, that they were able to take care of that. We are familiar with Mr. Cagle. He's got a criminal history in Cartersville. But again, no one would ever see anything like this. See something, say something really did work.
Thank you so much, Captain. Thank you to Cartersville Police Department for your excellent cooperation and coordination and timely, quickness in telling us about this particular individual and the harm that he wanted to inflict. Thank you, Chief Schierbaum, and your team here at APD to receive that call, to have great relationships across the region, to be able to continue to stay in great contact with individuals and organizations and other police departments across this region so that they would collaborate with us. Thank you all for this. Those in the community, the family, thank you for sharing. See something, say something did work. And so we are standing here talking about a tragedy averted versus us standing here telling you about 27 plus lives that were lost or injured at the world's busiest airport. So I will now take...
I think there's some video we're going to show at this particular time.
Got
that
it.
may be a benefit for them.
Media, if you can direct your cameras to the screen. We have a video, and Chief, if you can just come up and kind of take a look at the video and just walk us through it.
Certainly. Again, this comes from the investment that we placed at Atlanta Hartsfield Jackson International Airport. You see the individual arriving. He's parked his vehicle that was given to us by Cartersville PD, the Chevy flatbed pickup truck. They also had a dog in the vehicle with him. This is occurring at approximately 9:29, and then he will enter the airport itself proper at 9:31.
you'll see him.
Be entering the top left. You see him right here in the blue shirt, right here. You will go into the TSA area. Has a high interest in that area, and you'll see the number of travelers that are there that are preparing to depart. Our officers, armed with this photograph, are able to pick him out of that crowded area. They're able to take him into custody.
We just have a situation going on. Oh, okay. You were. Yeah, you guys have a dog. Billy? 16 radio. Is the guy named Billy? You have hands. Put your hand on your back, sir.
Mr. Cagle's vehicle is just outside these doors. He was clearly moving from the area that he was scouted and was moving back toward that area. Mr. Cagle was checked out by EMS. They determined he had no injuries, and he would be later be transported to his detention area. And then we're going to have next the weapon that was located inside the vehicle. Thank you, Director Spikes. The officers at this time are handcuffing him. Because of his size, and what you have in the description, they did require to use 2 sets of handcuffs to be able to properly secure him. Fortunately, there were no firearms on him at this time. His weapon is outside in his vehicle.
Chief, what's his size? He's about 6'3".
6'3".
320 pounds.
320 pounds, 6'3". And again, this is Officer Banks and Officer Gibson there. This is the vehicle. Matched the description perfectly given by Cartersville PD. He had pulled up right to the south, a domestic terminal, parked here, would go down and go into another door. And then you'll see the officers approaching it, and then they'll recover the firearm, the semi-automatic assault rifle that he had with him. There were 27 rounds that could have been fired from this weapon inside the airport. And this is exactly why we're here today, to encourage citizens to do their part so they ever become aware, and again, acknowledge the family, acknowledge our partners at Cartersville Police Department for their work. Thank you, Captain.
Mayor, at this time, we are ready for questions.
All right, at this time, we are now ready for questions.
What we will do, we will start over here, we'll start with Taisha, and we will move to my left. Taisha?
So this question may be for Chief Shearbell, I'm not sure, but had he just went into the airport with the gun initially, how difficult would it have been to stop him if he didn't do that, look like a dry run, maybe to see where he was going to go?
I don't want to go into the full capabilities that we have at the airport. We prepare for this very scenario. We tabletop for it. Our special response team trains weekly for just this occurrence. What you didn't see in the video was close by officers armed with rifles themselves. Any of you that travel through our airport commonly see them in the atrium. That's why they're there. You see officers with sidearms that are ready, prepared to move out. So should that scenario ever rise, as it has elsewhere in the city, we're going to be ready for it through training, for proper equipment and capability. We just pray that we're never called upon to do that. This is what a proper response by citizens and by law enforcement should look like.
Chief, do you know how he got the weapon? Was it a weapon that he purchased legally?
The investigation has been ongoing since this morning about 10 o'clock, and so we're still working through that. We are joined today by the Federal Bureau of Investigation, so our federal authorities will be assisting us in determining how we obtained the firearm, which he was not able to legally possess. And that's one of the charges he's been charged with.
Veronica?
Yes. So the family alerted you to what Mr. Cagle possibly had in mind. Did they say why he wanted to do this, some sort of motive? And also, how much ammunition do you have in addition to what was in the weapon?
Right, the investigation will determine if there was a motive. Right now, we've recovered 27 rounds. He had the capability to fire through that weapon.
You said there was a prior felony. What were his prior charges?
We'll have that provided for you at a later time. Right now, I do not have that right in front of me. I do know there was a drug possession arrest that was pretty significant that occurred in Cartersville prior to this.
CBS or ABC?
Yes, Leandra Head here with CBS News Atlanta. What mental health challenges was his suffering
I'm not going to provide that information. I will say this, mental health care is vital to a good society and preventing violent crime, and that the family was aware that there was a need there, reach out. We hope the courts will take all that in consideration as they move forward, and I do not want to share that. I think a family was brave to step forward, and I want to commend the bravery of the family for what they've done today.
So in the video that we saw, the guy goes around the Delta area, the South Terminal. Did he actually go towards the TSA area and there, and I guess?
Yes, sir. We have other video of him being in that space.
Has the suspect spoken with investigators, and if so, what is he saying?
The investigation is still ongoing. I cannot release any information that he may have given to our investigators.
All right, we'll start back over. We'll start with you and work our way back down. Another question?
Of course, you guys mentioned about the response time. How fast were it? We saw the officer with the phone, the picture of the guy. How fast were you guys able to identify him and see him in the airport?
Certainly, the timeline is we received the call at 9:40, and we had him in custody at 9:54. And as you can see, that was a very crowded area, and the officers, you can see in their hands, had the photograph. They were scouring the area. This is just one of two officers. We had officers all out the airport looking. And so I do want to commend them and just thank those officers for doing what Atlanta expected them to do on this Monday morning.
CBS Atlanta. Another question? Any other question? No. Veronica?
Yeah. Have you seen this live stream that Cagle was making at the time?
I have not, ma'am.
How did the family know he was going to ATL?
He said he was.
He told them.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, next question, Aisha, and then we'll go to Channel 5.
Chief, what happened when, so we were out there when we weren't quite sure what was happening, and the way the truck was positioned, he had ran over a cone, and then it was like, just a very odd position. What happened from the moment he parked that truck that way until, you all were in that video showing him?
Yeah, so he parks at 9:29. He enters the South Terminal at 9:31. And then he is walking around the area. He goes to the TSA checkpoint area. He is scanning that area, and he's walking back to the truck, we believe, when the officers encounter him. And then that occurs at 9:54.
Because I just know how on it officers are when you park right there, so I was just wondering, did anybody see him park his truck right there? Because it seems like there were 2 minutes where he was able to get lost.
Right. Our priority was to find the person, ma'am, and that's what we did.
All right, Cody, did you have a question? All right, 5.
Well, I know the airport this morning, especially in that TSA agent lines were long, with the government shutdown. We're getting into holiday travel. There's going to be long lines at the TSA checkpoints. What do you want people to know in these situations to know that as they might be in these backups, that they are safe?
Well, we protect the world's busiest but most efficient airport each and every day through many holidays, sporting events. We ensure the airport has the proper staffing. The mayor gives us the tools to make sure our police department has the equipment they need for a wide range of emergencies. So what we've done in the past, we're going to continue to do. We'll always strive for improvement where we need to. We can scale up the resources at the Atlanta Police Department as necessary. But the key to success, as it was today, is to see something, say something. While we have a number of police officers on this police department, what is out there at a great capacity is law-abiding citizens, citizens that care, and citizens that want to be in a safe place. And if those citizens speak up, whether it's a family member, a friend, a neighbor, and say something is not right here, this is how we save lives as a society. Today is how it is supposed to work.
JC?
I think I misheard you, but just to confirm, was there a dog also involved?
There was a dog in that truck. We have got that. Animal has been turned back over to the family and is in good care and was not harmed at any point today.
Was that family members there with him?
He traveled there alone. Yes, sir. He traveled there alone.
It wasn't a daughter or family member?
No, we were communicating via phone.
All right, thank you, everyone. If you need updated
Ms. Manning,
information, it
thank you.
will be posted